Did you know that banana bread first appeared in a cookbook in the 1930s? And that cookbook was actually the Pillsbury Cookbook. Up until then, it hadn't been really a popular bread to eat, so they didn't even bother with it. However, it's a bread that actually is called a quick bread. And the reason it's called a quick bread is because it doesn't need any yeast to rise. And it is believed that banana bread actually originated in the United States during the early 1900s because up until then, bananas hadn't made it their way here. So, when you're getting ready to make it, you need to make sure you have all the ingredients. And the ingredients are flour, baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon, nutmeg, eggs, bananas, some sugar, and some oil or butter, depending on what you want to use. So once you found out that you have all the ingredients and got them placed out, you need to go set your oven to 350 degrees. And you should probably find your loaf pan that you're wanting to use at this time and go ahead and grease it. That way it's one less thing you have to do towards the end. So you're going to get 2 bowls out in order to make the banana bread. One for your dry ingredients and one for your wet. In order to make the dry ingredient part of it, you're going to have 2 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. And you're going to mix this together so they're all blended. And then you're going to scoot out the center of it and make a hole, or what they call a well, in order to pour the wet bowl in here in a minute. The wet bowl consists of 2 eggs, 5 ripe bananas, and on those bananas what you're going to do is you're going to peel them and you're going to smash them with a fork in a bowl. And preferably the best bananas to use for this are the ones that are kind of brown spotted and look like they're going bad, because they actually secrete a chemical that makes them sweeter at this time. So that's when you want to do it. And after that, you're going to add in a cup of sugar and 1/2 cup of oil. And you're going to mix that together thoroughly. And once you think you've got it mixed together well, you're going to actually pour it into the well or a hole you made in the dry ingredient bowl. And at this time, you're going to mix it together, and it should start to become like a lumpy mixture. It's kind of thin. So now, once you're done with that, you're going to actually stick it in the loaf pan and get ready to bake. However, at this time you can actually make a streusel for it if you'd like. That streusel consists of 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour, and 2 tablespoons of butter. And you're going to mix that together with the fork, which I find is actually the easiest way to do it, because it lets it get crumbly better, and that's what you're looking for. You want it to be real crumbly and dry. Once that's done, if you're going to make it, you're going to actually sprinkle it on the top of it before you put it in the oven. Now you're going to put it in the oven, such as a 9x5x3 pan, you're going to put in there for 55 to 60 minutes until it's done. In order to see if it is actually done, what you're going to do is you're going to take a fork or a toothpick and stick through the center. Now when you pull it out, it should come out clean, and that'll mean it's done. If not, and it comes out with stuff on it, you need to stick it back in for a couple more minutes. Now once you get it out, and you determine it's done, you need to set it on a wire cooling rack for 15 to 20 minutes to allow it to cool off. That way you can get it out of the pan, cut it, or anything you need to. And that is how you make banana bread. It's not something that's complex or hard. However, it can be time consuming, such as this recipe that requires more than most. If there's any questions, you can ask now. If not, I'd like to thank you for your time today, and have a good day.
How do you go about greasing the pan?
To grease the pan, what you're going to do is, I found the easiest way to get it out if you want to take it out, is you're going to take some olive oil or any cooking oil, spread it around the edges and the bottom, and wipe up any extra. Then you're going to take some flour and sprinkle it all over in it, and flip it upside down and shake it. And that way, what that allows is, when you get done, you can just flip it over and it'll come out pretty easy without any struggle, and it won't fall apart on you.
Do you have to have a cooling rack?
No, you don't have to. However, it would cool off a lot quicker if you put it on a cooling rack, but if you don't, it'll just take a little bit longer to actually cool off.